What's going on, family? We're back at it again. I think I know what Babyface and Ted felt like. I think I know because I just had my own little stint with technical difficulties. I'm not anointed that at all, but yet here we are. Um, but we're back. I think we're back. I think we got it this time, and this does promise to be a really good conversation. Like I mentioned last time, this is one of the most creative creatives that I know. He is very, very, very different. The way his mind thinks, the way he sees things, is extremely unique. I'm honest. I'm blessed and honored to have him on today. I'm also blessed and honored to have him as a friend, as someone that I can glean from, as someone that I can get a little bit of wisdom and understand from as pertaining to the photography business. Most people, if you know me, you know that I have not been doing this for 40 and 50 years. Many as our counterparts have. I have been in this game for less than 5 years, and so for us to have moved how we've done, it's in large part, I do not take credit, it's in large part to the people around me that have helped me kind of cultivate, those talents that I've had and grow them and be able to come up with a scheme and a platform to put this all together with. And he is one of those people that really, really helped me and did not think it robbery to help the young fellow out. So without further ado, we're going to bring him back to the stand. Literally stand to the stand. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing as good as can be expected. Of course, needless to say, very time. Needless to say, we're navigating through different water. I'm used to having a family dilemma and working through it. I'm used to having physical ailments, whether it be stuff like a hurt ankle or a messed up finger or something. Working through that, I am not used to working through a global pandemic. Right. That is something that I've never worked before. You said what?
This is so new, right? You know what I'm saying? Never expected this,
Man, I promise you, most of us were in church for New Year or at a party. And when we looked at 2020, I can assure you, none of us saw this coming.
Nah, we were getting ready for the summer, right? You know what I'm saying? We were getting ready for summer hoops. Galore.
Yes, sir.
In the gym from 8 to 11 p.m. That's what we were ready for, man.
We were ready. I think we were throwing our own events. We were jumping on with other people and their events. We were pushing brands, and we just knew that this was going to be the year for many of us to go ahead and make that leap, professionally as well as personally. But here we are, in the middle of a global pandemic. Talk to me about what you think based off of what you see. We're open. Our state is open. That's the state of Georgia. Our state is open, and I think we're the only state open at this. We might be the only place in the world that's open, because most countries have even closed down their borders. You really can't even go in and out.
Right.
What do you think about this whole climate, this whole situation, and where we are, just as a people, as creatives, as a country? What's your take on COVID-19?
Man, so I'll start with this. My daytime job, my job that pays the bills, right?
Yeah.
I work in the healthcare industry. So we make the masks, we make the gloves, the drapes. Not we, but the company.
But the company. Yeah.
You feel me? I'm not taking ownership in it, but but so I've been so busy with the corporate job.
Yeah.
Kind of, preparing. We've been preparing for this, I'm saying, for a while, because we've been trying to support, other countries. And now it's come to the US front and it's kicked up another notch. So, but I can say with COVID-19, the ability to spend more time with family, to get that lost time with my wife and my daughter, just to be at home with them, I mean, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? You have to take, you have to be able to take the positive from the situation. You know, and as a creative, you know, like we're used to being out. We're used to finding inspiration. I think you said that before we lost signal earlier, like finding inspiration when you're driving. You know, I mean, that's basically what I was doing, man. I needed inspiration. I needed something other than these four walls. You know, I needed something. But I mean, I'm just trying to find the blessing, right? You know, just my family's healthy, my parents are healthy, my wife, my daughter, you know, we're good. So, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, just take it one day at a time, stay prayed up, man. That's really it, man.
Yeah. I can be honest when I say that to start this whole thing off. And if you're joining in, please share. This will make for a great conversation. Please share. This, like I said earlier, this is one of Atlanta's greatest photographers in my eyes. His creativity is through the roof. To me, there's people that you know, they'll pick up a camera, but then there are people that can see things and they use their camera to tell the story of what they see. And this is one of those people. He's a creative by every definition of the word. He can literally tell, absolutely, he can literally tell you a story, the story that he's thinking, the story that he envisions, and he'll tell you this. He can literally tell you the story with that camera. He uses the camera to tell the story. So please share. Let's get this to as many eyes as we can. This is just going to be, you know, a creative talk, just about how we're doing, how we're moving, and some of the things that we're trying to garner. To your point, these four walls, man, I promise the first 2-3 weeks, I promise you I got depressed. I think at some point, I think at some point I was depressed. I'm pretty sure. Because this, like you said, we're used to being out. I haven't been home this many consecutive days, probably since I was a kid. And even then I was going to school. I do not remember being home like this. And since you know, for the last couple of years, I don't remember being home 2 days in a row.
Right. Exactly, man.
And here we are. I mean, this is insane. I know for a lot of us, even I know this for you, but I know for myself, the way this last year of work and the stress that we put it on ourselves because of our want, our need greater. But the stress that we put on ourselves, I'm not surprised if there was a lot of us that were planning on going on vacations. I was planning on not being in this state,
brother,
come summertime.
Brother, I was a week before the mandatory shutdown. I was supposed to be. I was taking my daughter. We were going to DC to take my daughter to a college visit, you know. And then after that, the next weekend, we were going to Cuba. We were out of here. We were gone, man. You know what I'm saying? And we
weren't waiting for the summertime. You were out.
I was gone, man. I was gone. I was gone, man. You know, because I feel like last summer I worked so much, you know, and didn't get any quality time with the family like that. I'm like, hey, before it cranks up, let's go ahead and have some fun. Let's get out the country and just enjoy ourselves, man. But it is what it is right now.
It is what it is. I can't completely concur. I mean, and we're so busy as creatives, we never get a second to be like, let's get in a room and bounce ideas off of each other. We're so creative, we might think to do it, but the only time we'll realistically see each other is in passing at a gig. We might be in a game that we're shooting. And you know, the only time I say a word is maybe when I'm walking out of that game to drive to another one. I go, all right, my guy, I'm gonna see you later.
We're gonna chop it up, you know.
You know what I'm saying? And for us, I think most of our communication, this is about to be good. Most of our communication is by the content that we produce. Man, that just got good to me, because what it is you know, I'm going to see something that you post and go, oh my God, Stan. Oh my goodness. And because of what you were able to communicate to all of us, I now get in the lab and I'm like, oh, we got to go crazy. And so we're not only communicating through the content that we made, we're also elevating ourselves.
Pushing each other,
Absolutely. And I think one of the major conversations we've had, even since day one, the idea of we have to strengthen Atlanta body of culture, especially for us, especially around the basketball game.
Right.
but content just in general.
In general, right? Definitely.
To be able to push ourselves, either at the level nationally or above the level nationally, whether it be our content on basketball or our content in general. Tell me what you think about that. And I think that was that we had that conversation. That report. This was maybe 2017, I think.
Yeah. I think that was 17. Yeah, I think that was our first time really like getting to chop it up a little bit, right?
Agreed. It was a young Davon there, a young all that whole class.
Yep.
And that was the first time we really chopped it up. What do you think our progression has been since from then to now? And I don't mean me and you. I mean the culture of Atlanta media and arts, just in general.
I feel like individually, a lot of us we've made some strides. We've started getting respect. I'm saying, that individually we deserve. But I feel like a city as a whole, all of our creators, we aren't getting that same type of recognition that the city deserves. Like we have the athletes, we have the basketball players, we have the football players, we have every sport, we have top athletes.
Yeah.
But what we're noticing is a lot of people from other states are flying in here to get that footage of our athletes, and they're still getting, the notoriety, the big brands and those guys. But it's homegrown creators,
right?
The Atlanta people, we aren't getting the recognition that we deserve right now. You know what I'm saying? And I
agree.
I think over time, in time, we'll get it. It's just how do we come together collectively to make sure that we're the ones pushing that content for our athletes. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that, like, look, we don't even need to send anybody in. Let's go holler at Upward. Let's go holler at Ultra Films. Let's go holler at, iSmooth, League Bound, Tony's, just all of us in general. I know I'm leaving a bunch of people out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be the ones. And I feel like it's going to come. I feel like you said, like, Atlanta content is still new. You know what I'm saying? So we're growing.
To your point there, and you're so right. You're so right to the fact that we look at basketball, for example. We have 2 players in the top 5.
Right.
We have 2 Georgia kids in the top 5. That's amazing. Sure. But it's like, and that's one thing for me. And I think a lot of people know that we're working on a documentary even now. But that's one thing for me, is telling that story. Because it's not fair, because we people look at the state and still put whatever they want on the state as far as their ideology. But the fact of the matter is, we are really at this present moment, we are just as much a basketball state as we are a football state.
Right.
We're talking high level, not just pushing whatever, but we're talking about high levels of content, high levels of players, and a high caliber of talent. I think maybe one thing, and I'm gonna throw this out there, I'm gonna see what you say, we'll go off there, but I think maybe one thing that helps, especially post-pandemic, what about for us by us events? For us by us events, no content is allowed to go to overtime or Ballers Life or whatever. The content has to be spewed out of Georgia media outlets. And then projects where media outlets, converge, come together and drop pieces that are crazy. Why not a documentary where Hoops by Stan takes an episode, where iSmooth takes an episode, where Ultra Films take an episode? Why can't we come together and build something up that will put Georgia on the map, something crazy, without necessarily tearing each other down, or without us necessarily having to feel like we've got to edge the next person out?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, man. I think that's an amazing idea, And I feel like we're finally over that stage where, we were all trying to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like when we first all learned about this content creation game and seeing where it can take you.
Right.
We were all, we're competitors at the end of the day. Most of us,
every man for himself,
athletes, you know what I'm saying, or ex-athletes, and like we compete, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool, let's get it. But I feel like you said, now it's time to reevaluate and say, okay, we've all made names.
Right.
We can all come together as a collective,
yes,
and we'll be just as strong as the California team, you know what I'm saying? The California creatives, the New York creatives, the Dallas creatives.
Yeah.
We have the athletes. Now we need to tell the stories from our perspective, because we live this, you know what I'm saying? This is our state. So who better to tell a story about an athlete from where we're from than content creators, you know what I'm saying, from here.
Yeah.
So I love that idea, man.
I love it. Let's figure it out. I think for the longest time, I've actually had ideas to even get us together and just to hoop. You know, get a videographer that maybe doesn't hoop, and a photographer that maybe doesn't hoop, and everybody else get on the court, strap up. You know, just things to create that community, and that's what this is essentially about, is creating those communities, because we don't have that. We kind of mapped out a lot of what we're working on now.
Right.
Before I put it in the works. We talked about this, and we talked about the fact that there isn't a place where, as a creative, you can go and maybe get some information, maybe go ask and say, you know, I have a problem with, or maybe I have a problem with Final Cut, or I have an idea for such and such, and a safe place where I can go get some information from other creatives that have been where I've been.
Exactly.
Or just be able to go listen to a Hoops by Stan on a podcast. There is no place like that. And we had this conversation.
Yep. And it's so funny. I was listening to Ty Freeman. He was on a podcast the other night with Vine, with True Vine. And, you know, he said something that stuck with me. He was like, no matter where you are as a photographer, you know, I'm a photographer by trade. You know, I do video just for myself, but photography is what I love and what I do.
Yeah.
He said we all need a mentor. And I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Even someone like him, the GOAT, like this guy shoots thousands and thousands of events. He was still saying we all need a mentor. He needs a mentor. He has a mentor. And I'm like, dang, you have a mentor? Like, you know, and I look at someone like him as a mentor to me, you know, because I pick his brain a lot. And, you know, he's one of those people that, you know, he'll give you knowledge and he'll point you in the right directions and stuff like that. And like you said, I think, but a lot of us, even when we first started, it's like we didn't have a safe place. You know what I'm saying? To go like, hey man, I don't know what the heck I'm doing with lighting, or I don't know what the heck I'm doing with Premiere or Lightroom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Can you help me out? You know, like my boys, you know, League Bound and Smooth and even Urban Scope, like I don't know how to create videos. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to export a video. I'm like, man, look, man, my videos look like I shot it on my flip phone. Can you show me how to export this video? You know what I'm saying? But that's like my safe circle, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I know they won't judge me for not knowing something, right? And I feel you like that's what people like us, me, you, and others, you know what I'm saying? We should create something or have something, a platform like this, where we can come in here and be like, hey, bro, how do you chop these videos so fast? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I just saw you at the game. How are you chopping up a video this fast? You know what I'm saying? But that's art, right? Like, that's one thing I respect about. Like, that's one of the things I respect about you. Your turn time, and that's hard. People don't understand. That's an art, bro. To be able to turn something that fast, like, come on, you know,
and with a certain quality.
Right.
Because one thing we can't do is, I can't get it to you tomorrow, but then it looks like, okay, you might as well have just gotten it to me in 2 weeks.
Right, exactly.
Around and somebody be like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what you want every time. Talk about, I just learned something new about you today, is the fact that you do more than just photography. So many people think that, you know, some of the best in the game, this is all they do. And you actually are in a career, and this is something that this is just as much a major career to you as to anybody I've ever seen. But to even hear that is crazy. Just talk a little bit about your background and how you got involved with, you know, shooting and things of that nature. Has that been something you flirted with all your life? Has that been a childhood love that you had that you rekindled, or has that been something that you was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this right here? Like, how? What's the Hoops by Stan story?
So I want to romanticize it so bad and just be like, man, since the day I came out the womb, I had a camera, right? You know what I'm saying? But I can't, you know, like I always I'm inclined on the artistic side, right? That's like, you know, that's my passion. Like I love movies and all that other stuff. I mean, I've always taken pictures, but never anything serious, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get serious with photography until I started, I guess, training. I used to be a trainer, right? You know what I'm saying? I was training and I was looking for ways to market myself. And I'm like, hey, I mean, that was back in the day. I used to train Double Trouble. I used to train those guys back in the day, right? And so I used to try to find ways to market and market myself and basically get players, you know what I'm saying, get clientele.
Yeah.
So I used to do videos for myself, you know, put it on YouTube, put it on Twitter, whatever. And I'm like, dang, man, you know what? I actually love the content creation side more than I do the training, you know? And then plus I have a daughter, so I'm always taking pictures of my daughter. Like that's where the love came from, like, you know, from the camera. Like I'm constantly taking pictures of my daughter, right? Well, not anymore. She's a teenager now, so but whatever. So, you know, like as time went on, you know what I'm saying, I started with street photography. You know, that's how I started off. I'm a street photographer. I love to tell stories, you know, random people, meeting random people taking pictures of them, and you know what I'm saying, just getting to know people with my camera. You know, the camera opened doors. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of an introvert than I am an extrovert, but I noticed that camera is that safe place with me, and it's a conversation starter. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one thing, you know what I'm saying? That's just photography. That's why I love photography, you know, like it's a conversation starter. And, you know, being an ex-hooper, you know, I was like, hey, let me go shoot. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to train anymore, but I miss the game.
Right.
So much. And, you know, my old roommate, Ja Rollins, you know, he has ABL.
Wait, let's rewind. Right? Rewind. You kind of just slipped that in there like it was.
Oh, yeah.
In college?
In college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So yeah, me and Ja, we played JUCO together.
So for those that don't know, the semi-pro or summer league here in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, is called ABL.
Yep.
A lot of NBA players, collegiate players, overseas players, they'll come back home for the summer and play in the league. The owner, his name is Ja Rollins, and evidently they were roommates.
Yeah, man. That's my guy, man.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
That was my point guard, my roommate, man. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he has ABL.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I went out like, hey man, I want to come out, want to shoot a little bit. You know, it's like, come do your thing, you know, let's see, you know.
Yeah.
Came out, started shooting there, you know, and fell in love with basketball photography, man. I used to shoot with Hoops Given with Chris Williams, you know, one of the premier high school basketball tournaments in the nation.
Absolutely.
You know, I grew up with that guy. I've been knowing him, you know, pretty much all my life. And
so
just asked him. Just asked him, you know, hey, can I shoot? You know what I'm saying? We have that relationship, you know. It's like, yeah, come on and shoot, test it out. I mean, I didn't want to at first because I had no idea. You know, it's basketball is difficult to shoot, you know, especially when you're just starting out as a photographer. Like, it's so much that goes into it. You know, you have these trash gyms with this horrible lighting, you know, you have grainy pictures, you know. But, you know, I fell in love with it, you know, fell in love with, you know, especially being a competitor, right? You know what I'm saying? An ex-hooper, I fell in love with the process of learning photography and learning how to try and quote unquote master basketball photography, because it's something that I feel like I learn something new every time I shoot.
Yeah.
And that's really how I got into basketball world, man. You know, basketball photography world. And that's why I only shoot basketball photography, because I really don't have a desire to shoot football. You know what I'm saying? That's not my passion. I can't anticipate what's going to happen because I never played the game. You know what I'm saying? I don't love it, you know? So, but yeah, so that's how basically I got into basketball photography, man.
I agree. Basketball definitely moves at like 100 miles an hour. If you blink twice, you'll miss the play of the game. Is that?
Exactly.
And it's like, you know, I can imagine for someone that's never played, it might just be whatever.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that have played or been around the game for a long time, you have intuition when you're watching. When you're watching in that fourth quarter, like when the game is really, really bad and somebody's winning by a lot, you believe, but sometimes you might have an intuition like such and such is about to have a big play.
Right.
They actually have the big play and you capture it because you're looking for it.
Right. Exactly.
I think that's some of the most beautiful things about, you know, shooting basketball and having been around it for forever.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about, you know, I think you touched on something amazing, and I might be wrong here. Maybe I'm seeing what I want to see, but you let me know if but I like how you said, you know, you had this is your guy, it's his event, but yet you asked him, could you come out to his event and shoot? That showed me a little bit about the idea of protocol in the game. Even the idea of like a Ty Freeman, the fact that these are our OGs in the game, and I think that we look so hard to go crazy and to be great and to be the next whatever that we low key step over the feet of some of the people that have set place for us. Some of the people that have worked the grounds for years and years and years.
Right, definitely.
They've worked the soil, and now the soil is so ripe. And I think we rub them the wrong way because we come about like, yeah, I'm that guy. Like we don't want to say hello to nobody. We don't want to shake hands. Talk to me a little bit about what you feel is proper creative etiquette. I just came up with that. That's
I like coin that, man. Etiquette, man. Creative etiquette. I like that, man.
My God, I'm in the space right now. Talk to me a little bit about that and what you think it's missing and where do you think it can go? Because I think we can work better together if we have better mannerisms and behavior towards each other. I think for some reason, when somebody new comes about, it's a strife thing for a while until we start to respect the work. And then the work is like, I guess whatever.
Yeah,
you know, talk to me about, you know, what you would like from an etiquette point where, you know, the person's work might not even be that good, but because they're etiquette, you even want to help them out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pretty much the easiest person to approach, you know what I'm saying? And straight up when I walk in the gym, I try to speak to I'm gonna speak to everybody that I know. And then if I see a new person, I'm definitely gonna speak to them. You know what I'm saying? Just out of respect, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all doing the same thing. We all love, if you don't love basketball, you just love to create content. You love photography, you love videography. And I feel like, I mean, why not speak? Why not show that person the same respect that I'll show, you know what I'm saying? A random person, the same respect that I'll show you when I see you, you know what I'm saying? In the gym, or when I see Ty in the gym, or anybody, you know, like it's respect, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was raised, you know what I'm saying? You speak to everybody, you know, you show everybody love. Look, even if I don't care for you, I'll still speak, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just, you know, for what? You know what I'm saying? I don't have time for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I got other stuff to worry about than not speaking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just feel like that's just how we were raised. You know what I'm saying? Just respectful, right? And as far as like going to events and stuff like that, you know, just I feel like just showing the respect to the people that are curating the events, right? The people who are throwing the events. Because at the end of the day, I try to, you know, make sure to show respect. Like, hey, I'm gonna come out to your event. I'll shoot you some pictures. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing it for free. You know, now we had this conversation a lot, right? But you know, I try to limit that now, right? You know what I'm saying? Just off the strength, you know, because some people don't respect it, and then they feel like, oh, you came to my event, now you got to give me, you know, all your whole catalog from everything that you shot, and it's like, no, don't worry like that. This is my camera. These are my pictures, and I'll give them out as I please, right? So. With that being said, though, I still try to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, do you have a photographer? Can I come to your event? You know what I'm saying? And if I know, you know, you normally can tell who's shooting the event, right? You know, you can tell who's getting paid to shoot that event. And if I see them, I go definitely, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Stan, how you doing? You know, that's it. Just show some respect. You know, like I'm not trying to get in your bag or trying to take money out your pockets or anything like that. I'm here for me, you know what I'm saying, and trying to build my portfolio, you know, like simple as that. So, you know, I just take the steps of introducing myself to the person who's having the event, and then I usually try to find the photographer, videographer, you know, say what's up, you know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my thing. That's it, you know, like I feel like that's the easiest way to go about it, bro.
That's dope, man. It's like you said, it's a respect factor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because even after I asked like you said, even after I asked the organization, if somebody's on staff or on payroll, whatever the case may be, and somebody else is running around with a camera, like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like,
what are you doing? Right.
Because the thing about it is, you know, some companies and some media outlets, they might be working on an exclusivity deal, which means that, you know, instead of me making the 2,000 that I was supposed to make or whatever for this event, I'll take your 1,500 or your 1,000, but as a part of this deal, we should be the only cameras in the building, which means that when we walk away from the event, I'm the only one that has content of this event, which will kind of make up for, you know, the payment or whatever the case may be. So it's real at that point, you can't just be running around with no camera and like, you defeat the purpose of this deal, of this contract. And so I think that's a major point. You know, let's get with the organization, but let's also get with your shooters. Let's make this real specific now. Let's kind of attack this time that we're in right now. Creative, these four walls ain't helping me. How can I find motivation? How can I find I think I even saw Matthew earlier. Matthew put out Matthew Grimes. He put out a listen. Yeah, you know, and he's in his crib, probably on what he does every day. You know, just serving up a cup and just being able to have a creative eye to that. How can I get better during this quarantine as a photographer, as a videographer? How do I grow my skill? How do I hone my craft?
So I'll tell you what I've been doing. The first thing I did was I went to the archives. I went to the archives and I critiqued myself. I wanted to see where I came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you feel like, oh man, I'm doing my thing now. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting out, you know, this heat, blah, 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 blah. And I went and looked like 2 years ago and humbled myself real quick. Like, man, like dang, I was really trash. Like 1 out of 15 pictures was a decent picture, not even a good picture, a decent picture. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that humbled me, right? So it's like, okay, there's a lot of work that I need to do. And what I decided to do was, you know, take a little time off of social and kind of dive into some books, you know what I'm saying? Like photography books, you know, because that's my thing, right? So I found some old photography books for things that I'm interested in, like street photography and portrait photography and basketball photography from the greats, right? And I just kind of been studying them, you know, just trying to really understand like what goes into a good picture, composition, you know what I'm saying? Lighting, you know.
Hold on. Let's take a break. Instagram, we're going to get right back to that. I don't mean to cut you off. But Instagram has one of the greatest creative etiquette guys out.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Is that Joe Gator?
You already know it.
I already know it.
Joe Gator. He's the guy that really got me right on, you know, etiquette. Of course, I'm naturally the person that's gonna be like, clearly we could tell. I'm a people person.
We know.
I like to say what's up. I like to, you know, I'm probably gonna be the loudest one on the sideline, and I'm also gonna be one of the most fun people to shoot a game with. Yeah. Like me. Yeah. But one of the persons that really empowered me to really do that is Joe Gator. Shout out to Joe Gator. Big shout out to Joe Gator. He's definitely one of the young OGs in the game.
Young OG, yeah, definitely old soul, man. But yeah,
he does everything. He's gonna go across.
The hardest working guys that I've ever met. You and him, y'all are like the hardest working dudes I know. I'm like, brother, You would think y'all have a team of 20 photographers and videographers. It's like, bro, how are you? I just seen you at this game. How are you all the way on the other side of town? You know what I'm saying? And then y'all pumping out.
That's really him. Because if me, my sister might go shoot something, or somebody else. I might have somebody that goes to
sauce, man. Don't even your sauce.
You're right, but I give him that much more respect because it's legitimately him by himself.
Yeah,
like he'll leave an ABL game, go shoot a football game at Albany State, come right back to a Georgia State game in the evening. Like his work ethic is crazy.
It
so shout out to him. To cut you off, we're still talking about you going back to your, yourself.
You're good.
He definitely does. If Ty hops in here, I'm leaving. If Ty freaking hops in here, I'm out. And so if he was in here earlier, somebody let me know. Somebody let me know if he was here. I'm running. I'm running around the world.
Right.
Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yep. I hear you.
Okay, yeah. No, it's back when you were talking about, going some of the steps some of the things you've been doing, some of the steps you've been taking, just going back, checking up on that, checking up on that portfolio, kind of where I was, where I am.
Mm-hmm.
You had just got into the photography books.
Yep. So just kind of like going through different photography books, man, learning about lighting, composition, and just studying what makes a good picture, man. It's like you want how do I draw emotion out of my subjects, right? It's just and coming up with the shot list, that's kind of like what I've been doing. I've been focusing on knowing which images I want or must have for Stan in his portfolio, and images that would deliver something different to my clients. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I've been sitting here doing, just critiquing myself, trying to become a better photographer, trying to add a different skill set and a different, a different view, tell a different story. And so that's like the main things that I've been working on, man, just trying to figure out ways to stay creative around the house, man. I've even been putting myself in front of the camera, and just taking pictures because you don't realize how difficult it is to be on the opposite side of the camera, right? I think people don't realize that. Like I didn't realize. I'm like, look, bro, why
are you tripping?
Why are you tripping? This is easy. Just take the picture. I need you to be centered. I need your face to be turned a little bit. I need this. I need this emotion. And then when you sit in front of the camera and you're looking crazy, it's like, wow, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I feel it. I feel where you're coming from.
Agree.
So yeah, man, I think that's important too for us. Like put yourself on the opposite side.
Yes, sir.
To have your subject.
Yes, sir. No, I that last part. First of all, the last part hits me so differently because, man, kind of leaving just shooting into the new place where I am now. I'm interested in moving into that speaker role and taking the speaker engagements. And of course, we started up. This is now the second podcast we've started up this year, looking to add, or be on a podcast or two before the end of the year. Like those different. It's a different element. And it was weird. The first time I had to sit there and say, welcome to blah, 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 blah. I messed up like 10 times, legitimately.
Yeah.
Every time I put out an ad, I mess up like 4 or 5 times. I'm just now starting to settle into the role of the camera actually being in front of me. So that you raise a great point. I think it gives us some kind of sympathy for our subjects. Because we're like, okay, I get it. Do you need a break? Normally what would have been like, what in the world? Would be like, let me go get you some water.
Right, exactly. Let
me get you some water. Yeah. Let's talk. One of the biggest things, one of the greatest things that's happened since the pandemic started is the unleashing of The Last Dance. That's one of the greatest things that could have. I think we were scheduled to receive that sometime in the summer, and we got it early, and I'm so thankful that we did.
Definitely.
you had already been posting like some older pictures, some old catalogs and things of that nature on your gram where you were studying from.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go with the whole documentary. And we look at some of the video content, some of the picture content. In many ways, the game really hasn't changed.
Right.
You know, we shoot like even we think about for example, in episode 2 where Jordan went in the gym to work out. No, episode 1, he went in the gym to work out. You got the camera getting when he pulled up. Then you know he's in the gym and zooming in and out on him. Then finally ball trails when he hits a shot. Those are some of the same things we do right now.
Right. Exactly, man. Exactly.
It looks different because it's a lot older. A lot of the trends of the game are still the same. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, what you're learning and what we're all gleaning from, especially this Last Dance and some of the content. The content was crazy, bro.
Crazy. And you know, I feel like what I've learned the most, just so it's hard, right? I'm a basketball fan. I want to say second now. You know what I'm saying? I think the content creation, I look at content creation first. You know what I'm saying? I look at how stuff was produced and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see that I know the Jordan story, I know the Bulls story. Now I'm looking at how it's being told, right? And the one thing that I really realized is, or the first thought that came to my head is like, dang, I need to slow down. Because I'm thinking of the photographer. They're shooting in film. Yeah. So they're shooting while I may sit there and shoot like 500-600 pictures.
Yeah.
They're shooting 30 to 40. I mean, okay, maybe 100 pictures, right, per game. But they're getting the shots. They're getting those money shots. Yeah. And I'm like, that is what I need. Quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? I need to go in the gym and know, okay, I need to get 20 good shots. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what I'm learning. I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Pace yourself. You know, you don't have to be in a rush. You know, like you might miss the most exciting dunk.
Right.
And if you miss the dunk, get the reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things that I'm learning from looking at these old photographers. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, okay, he didn't get the dunk, but he got Jordan. You know what I'm saying? With the fist pump, the Jordan fist pump.
Right.
You know? He might didn't get Jordan holding up the trophy in the locker room with the champagne being sprayed on him, but he got Jordan in the corner hugging the trophy with his dad. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like it's beautiful. It's like, slow down. You know what I'm saying? Look for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Tell the story. Capture the emotion. So I think that's what I'm really learning just by watching this Last Dance. And then, you know, it's also giving me bringing back that love that I had for the Chicago Bulls and Jordan and Pippen and Rodman and those guys, you know, that style of basketball, you know?
Absolutely. No, I agree. I think even for me, I can be honest, I like creating a story via video.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just figured out photography. I feel like I just figured it out this year. I think that this is the year where my content as far as pictures has really been like, oh, yo, that's cool. And I think that just happened this year. But I think for a while, videos is to tell a story. And, you know, you just look at what they're focusing on with the video shots.
Right.
You look, you know, how we're moving, you know, there. And a lot of stuff I like to see because it reminds me of things that I do. For example, you know, they'll have a shot on the TV screen, on the vintage screen, and then they'll pan it out to see like the people that are watching it, or pan it out to see the action around the shot. Just to create those different elements. And those are the things that I love to do and love to use. You might sit on the coach right quick and then just move out and pan in on the player, a specific player. Maybe the player that the coach is yelling at. It's a different way to tell the story. I think you're right. We have to slow down and we have to tell the story. The story might not always be the big play.
Right.
You know, for example, let's take Grayson. The story might not be a Davon dunk. The story might be a Coach G yelling at Caleb because Caleb is not making a certain pass.
Right.
And
right.
After that moment, and Caleb might come out and throw the pass. And so now you get the reaction out of Caleb,
Yep.
and you get that initial contact from Coach G, and then you get the crowd excited. The dunk was the big play, but the setup in the story.
You got the whole story right.
It's the whole story right. And maybe those are ways that us as content creators here in the state, we can tell the story differently than those that just come in, because we know Coach G. We know those other players. We know that the starting point guards and the guys up, like especially Ultra Films, we have personal relationships with those guys.
Right.
We can tell the story from a different angle and not just show big play after big play after big play after big play.
Right.
Something like this, it low-key makes me wish that I started shooting the documentary after I saw this one, because it would have tweaked. It would have tweaked what I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we're still going to tell the story the best way we can. Talk to me a little bit about your eye for the game, your eye for shooting, your eye for the game. I don't need you to give out, what, and I also believe this. I believe what makes you makes you you. And I think you can spend a course telling people about you and what you see, and no one will still ever be able to recreate what you do because it comes from your soul. I really believe that. However, please do protect yourself. We know that there are people that will copycat, Listen, if you go up and down, they're going up and down with you. So, whatever it is that you would be willing to share, but just talk about kind of your vision when you create, kind of your process, and some of the things that you'll look for while shooting.
Yeah, definitely, man. I would say the biggest thing is, it's like writing a story, right? You know what I'm saying? It's simple. I look for intro, I look for my body, and my conclusion. Those are my 3 shots, you know what I'm saying? 3 shots that I must have. So I have to have an intro shot, I have to have that shot kind of establishing, what I'm doing, because that begins the story, right?
Yeah.
Then I go in there and I try to find, what I'm saying, that one shot, whether it be a portrait of a specific player, coach doing something, what I'm saying, something that's just like, I don't know, what I'm saying, but that's what I'm looking for, some type of emotion, right? And then I'm looking for my closing shot, and I might even throw in an action shot in there, right? But I'm looking for like those 3 and a possible, right? Intro shot, establishing where I'm at.
Yeah.
A shot that gives the meat shot, what I'm saying, like this is what's going on, what I'm saying, this is it, right? And then my closing shot, what I'm saying, something that lets you know, okay, this is how it ended. That's it. Those are the 3 things that I'm always looking for. Sometimes I don't even get all 3. Sometimes I just get one of those and I'm satisfied with it. But I'm going into every event that I shoot looking for 3 specific shots. No matter if I shoot 1,000 shots or what, I'm looking for 3 specific shots, and hopefully one of those gets me what I need. That's really, what I'm saying, it's that simple.
Yeah.
That's like the high level, what I'm saying, and then it's what I'm saying, then it comes into the anticipation part of it, right? What I'm saying, anticipating, being an ex-basketball player, anticipating this is going to happen. Okay, like you said, like okay, if Grayson example, okay, Davon just made, what I'm saying, a big play, right?
Yeah.
Am I going to follow Davon, or am I going to go to coach? Because I know coach, he gets emotional, like he's hyped, what I'm saying, he's like, everything, right. I'm like, do I want that, or do I want the play? What I'm saying? Those are the things that I have to think of, what I'm saying, when I'm coming to a game, an event. It's what do I want? What I'm saying? I don't want to just shoot everything up and just have 1,000 pictures. I want to have something with some substance to it.
That's in the comments. I'm so mad. I'm mad at this one. In the comments, Gator Sports is taking notes.
Whatever, man.
Oh my God, we made it. On YouTube, OST is watching. Listen, I'm about to go lay down and cry somewhere. We've made this. Look, this is the epitome of what we want. You got a creative with another creative, and you got 2 of the craziest creatives out.
Yeah, man.
Creative teams out that are following, watching, taking notes, co-signing. This is amazing. This is what this platform is.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I didn't shout out my guys from OST. They are some of the dopest, hardest working brothers I know too.
Absolutely.
So please charge it to my head and not my heart, because those are my guys. Those have been my guys since day one.
Absolutely.
Before I even knew what the heck I was doing, those guys were on it, man. Those guys showed me how to get into events.
Yes. They've been at it for a while.
Yes.
They're on Instagram too. I'm about to go run. Listen, I'm screaming on the inside right now. I'm trying to stay calm. We need the intro, we need the body, we need the conclusion of the matter. Talk to me about, and I just want to. You're here. I'm going to pick your brain, not only for myself but for those that are starting. I believe that this is what this is about. Talk to me about your idea when, as it pertained to Kyrie. Kyrie was here a couple years ago at the ABL event, played for a weekend, played 2 different games. Mind you, that was our first time ever shooting ABL. And so as a company, we lucked up and were in the building at the right day. And I think sometimes as a creator, you have to have that intuition. I remember, I think we had spoke with Ja before the season started, but that year we were just doing really, really well with tournaments. And we were the main coverage for a lot of tournaments. So, that's a lot of money. It's also a lot of work, and that takes up your Saturday, Sunday.
Right, definitely.
That was the first weekend that we were free. And I said, listen, we going to ABL. I promise, Ja, we're going to go out there and see what it's all about. You a lie, OST, you a lie. But we went out there, and Gate in the comments, he said he was at prison too. He was, and not a lot of media showed up. I think Joe was the only photographer there.
Yeah, definitely.
But at that time, I didn't really have a process to telling these stories. We lucked up and made a little video at the time with the Upward Now quality we had at the time. I think it's still sitting around 20-something thousand views, and that's lovely. But when I look at it, it's like you said, it's humbling, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, what in the world was I thinking?
Right.
There's a couple things in there that I really, really, really don't like. But it is what it is, and it's 20,000 views deep. I'm not taking it down.
No, definitely not. No.
We're going to hold on to that. But what was your process that weekend? What was the preparation like for something like that? Because at the time, I believe you were working with and for ABL. Yeah. And so it's kind of your responsibility. And I think Joe as well. Joe, whatever you add in the comments, we'll make mention of. But your process is now just not for you and your portfolio, but it's also the event telling its story. Right. And pictures that you took, the event now uses those pictures to continue telling that part of their story up until now. What is your thought process like going into that as a creator?
Bro, to be 100% honest with you, I didn't know what the heck, what the heck I was doing. I knew I had to get the pictures, but it was so crazy. Like, I didn't even have time to think, right? So I'm like, I just need to get a good Kyrie shot. And you know how that lighting was at ABL.
It's not what it is now at all.
And I'm just like, look, man, I just need to get an in focus shot that isn't grainy of Kyrie. That was my whole goal. And I knew, I was thinking big picture, right? So the one shot that I had in my mind was getting Kyrie communicating with kids, because ABL is about community, right? It's about being able to bring these NBA players to the hood, to where kids who probably can't make it to an NBA game get to see some of their favorite basketball players. Like, that's like the underlying, meat of ABL. And so I'm like, I just need one good shot of Kyrie interacting with kids. And like, that's really the shot that I was going for. And that's probably like the one that I have is like probably one of my favorite shots, of Kyrie. And it's just, but I say that it was super humbling looking back at those pictures, because those are some of the pictures that I was looking at. And if I could go back anywhere that would be the time that I wish I knew what I know now.
Yes,
And
agree.
because I'm like, brother, I would have got some way cleaner images and like just better shots, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Kyrie Irving right here. He was at the top of his game.
Yes, bro.
And it's like I missed so many shots of this dude.
At the pinnacle. Mind you, this is the summer where he hit the shot. It was that summer.
It's crazy. I don't even think I realized that was that summer where he hit the shot, bro. Like that's crazy.
And so kind of the ending of that Cavalier era, because after that it kind of dissipated. You know, we know where we are now, where he's leading a completely different team, and LeBron is on the other side of the country.
Right.
You know, that was a major summer.
Yeah.
That was and even for myself, I'm video wise, you know, I did what I did, and this and this is the part that's humbling, because in that moment you're like, I should be going viral right now.
Yeah.
That was my thought. I'm like, yo, this video I made, I should have like, you know, this many views on Instagram and this many likes and this many newer followers. Like I had an idea of what I thought was supposed to happen, but when I look back, I look at it and I say, I clearly didn't know the game, like not the basketball game, but the game I'm playing now. I'm playing a content game,
right?
A creatives game, and I clearly didn't know the creatives game, because if I did, I would have known that I was nowhere near where I needed to be as far as content, to be thinking, along the terms of what I was thinking. I was not supposed to go viral because my content wasn't viral content.
I understand.
It was content.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have that understanding at the time. For you, when do you think? And I think the more you work, the more you go, wow, I have further to go. Yeah. When did you finally turn the curve, and what was your mindset when you finally figured out that, as far as I think I am, there's really another level that I need to tap into? When did that happen for you?
Ooh, man, that's a tough question, brother. Because I still feel like I am still trying to get to that next level, right? You know, it's still, you know, I can tell you when I started feeling, you know, good about Stan and his content creation or his photography is when people start paying what I was charging. You know what I'm saying? Like when I gave my rate, there was no negotiating. They said, okay, you know, like that's when I knew, okay, I'm on the right track. But you know what I'm saying? It's always, I feel like when you look at where you want to be, like, you know, I want to shoot NBA games. I want to document those games. I want to document those players. And when I look and see these photographers that do that, I'm like, man, I have so much more to learn. I have so much further to go in learning this medium that we call photography. You know? And I think, you know, that's the beauty about what we do. You know, we're always learning. You've never made it, you know, like I feel like, okay, cool. I finally have become comfortable enough to where I know I can go to a basketball game and get some good shots. Cool. Get some great shots or some, you know what I'm saying? Some good content. But I know that the photographers who do what I do, they're great at creating commercial photography. They can create images that will last a lifetime, that will be documented in books and magazines. And I'm like, man, I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still learning lighting. You know, I'm still learning how to draw emotion out of lighting a subject, you know, connecting with the subject. Like those, you know, as I look through these books and YouTube and, you know, now Instagram, because everybody's on Instagram now, right? Even these older photographers, I'm like, how the heck did they draw this emotion out of this player? You know, like, how do I connect with these players like this? So it's like, when you think you've arrived, it's always going to be another level. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be another level.
We have the greats are really tuning in. Crazy. I already said it. I said it again. Ty Freeman walks in here and starts talking. I'm leaving. He can conduct the interview. I'm gonna run around this house, have a field day. But OST, they said all facts. This is a great topic. And Joe on Instagram said that's a deep question. He said that's a deep question. I just said I'll start that back up. But yeah, I agree, and I think you make a great point when you start bringing up financials, because that right there is where we enter the conversation that it's not only videographers and photographers, but entrepreneurs and creatives everywhere. Whenever your work, whenever what you offer, whenever your service has the potential of getting you what you want financially without you doing too much, where you can just say, this is my price, and people can get that and respect it with the work that you have. According to Stan, and I double down on this, I believe this as well. You have now officially reached a place of you can now call this your floor. I believe you have reached your floor where you found an area where your quality meets your value.
There you go.
Your value is on par, because when you open your mouth and you say what your price is, no one's asking any questions, because they believe that what you're offering, your value, is what you're asking for in funds and financially. Man, I think you just helped somebody right there.
You helping people, brother. This is awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? Like these are awesome topics like that we're discussing right now, man. They're hard conversations, right? They really sit here and they make you think. You know?
Yeah. So tell me this. Since we're talking money, I'll park here all day, but we're just gonna park here for a little bit. Tell me this. How do you know when it's time for you to up your price? How do you know when you're asking for, you need to ask for? Like, what are the parameters that tell you that you need to be asking for more money?
So I'll answer the first question. How do you know when you up your prices? So I was in New York maybe a year or so ago.
Yeah.
I met probably, I'm drawing a blank, like the most famous street photographer in New York, older black man, probably around 70 years old. He still shoots film, takes portraits. So he told me the most important thing he asked me, he asked me two questions. He said, I told him I was a photographer, what I do, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I love your work. I've been following you for a while, just books and, just reading about them, right?
Yeah.
He asked me two questions. He said, one, where's your camera if you're a photographer? I was like, it's in my bag right here. He's like, why don't you have it out? Like, if you're a photographer, you never put your camera up because that's an opportunity for you to make money. Wow. Everyone needs to know you're a photographer. I was like, wow, that's deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to have it walking around the street. So that was the first question. Now, to get to your question about how do you up your prices, this is what he told me. He asked me the same question. He said, how do you know when to up your prices? I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, He said, you increase your prices every year, no matter what. You increase it. You find your percentage and you increase it that much every year. I said, what? But what about the people that, might get priced out if I'm increasing my prices, He's like, you didn't need them anyways. You didn't need them as a client because they don't respect your work. If they can't respect you increasing your prices, then they don't respect your craft and you don't need them. He said, so you want to eliminate them and you want to work with only those who respect you. I said, man, are you, this, I'm like, this is hard, bro. I'm like, no. I was like, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to quit my full-time job. So I need all the clientele that I can get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Did I take heed to that? I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna price everybody out. No, I haven't got to that point yet. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like you value yourself that much to where the people who value your work, they're going to pay for it. And those
Yeah,
are the ones that you want to work with because they're going to always respect you. They're always going to work with you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, I mean, I get it, but it's just hard to grasp. So, with that being said, I'm still working on, you know what I'm saying, when to increase prices and rates and things like that. But this is how I do it. I never have I don't have a per hour rate. I don't have a daily rate. I price everything based off of the job that I'm doing.
mhm,
That's just because as a creative, if I say, hey, I can do this gig for I'm just throwing lowball numbers, right? $25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like we know we're not charging that. But you know what I'm saying? When I give you that great deal,
right.
it's gonna be the hardest job or the hardest client that I ever had. And I'm like, I should have charged you
Absolutely.
125 an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Work here for a while. Work here.
So you know what I'm saying? Like that's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I don't do an hourly rate. You know what I'm saying? I figure out, I work with my client, try to understand what they need.
Yeah,
What are you going to need? What are you looking for? Are you just looking for images? How quick is the turnaround time? Whatever, try to figure out how demanding, and then I price my stuff accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So this makes sense. I think for me personally, I've taken the kind of commercial route,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I intended to take from the beginning, and things are just kind of falling into what I wanted them to be. Things manifesting, as many people would say. But
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I took about where I want to have a number of photographers, a number of videographers, a number of editors at work and get things done, and work in different cities and things of that nature.
Oh,
So I think, and especially for what you're saying, I think it's important that we draw the line between um, when someone is trying to figure these questions out for yourself. You need to know who you are first. You need to first identify what you're doing with your brand. Are you going to be an individual? Are you going to
right.
be a collective group of people? If so, everybody can't just walk in there, creating their own quotes. You can't be the
Right.
same where you have 5 people and one person priced it at 100, one person priced it at 1,000, and one person priced it at $25. We need to have something consistent.
Makes sense.
From a company standpoint, I've done it to where we do have the hourly, we do have a
Mhm.
retainer fee, we do have such and such, blah 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 blah, so
Right,
that we
right.
understand what we're doing. However, we also do have fees based off of some things that you would like. If you want your stuff in the same day, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Right.
We're gonna tack on this extra $50, 75, whatever it's gonna be,
Right.
to make sure that it makes sense to the team.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, more than one person gets fed. And so, if you're creative and you come back and you watch this, even if you're just an entrepreneur, and let's just say all you do is cut grass, if you mow the lawn, you need to know this. You need to know: are you going to mow all of these lawns yourself for forever, or are
Mhm.
you going to tack on people that mow the lawn? If you do, everybody cannot say, "I will cut your grass for $15," and somebody, "I'm gonna cut the grass for 300," and somebody else, "How much grass do you have? I'm gonna cut according to the amount of grass that you have." There
Okay.
needs to be symmetry in how you're charging as a company, and
Well
if you're
said.
doing it by yourself, you have to do it based on the value. I might just go, "What do you want? Do you want just normal lines? Do you want hexagons in your grass? Do you want diamonds?" And then I'm gonna charge you based off of what you're asking me for, and that's what Stan is doing. So even while you're doing this, understand what your market is, but also understand who you are, understand your brand identity,
Yeah.
um, and make sure that it makes sense across the board.
And I'll piggyback on that, and then what I'm saying, we can jump off of the rates and stuff like that. We all started from somewhere, right? So what I'm saying, what me and you charge now, that's not where we started. You know what I'm saying? Like we put in a lot of work. We put in a lot, and I'll be honest. I know we put in a lot of free work as well. You know what I'm saying? Like to build a portfolio, to show people what we can do. So you have to be realistic with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, okay, I'm just starting out as a photographer, a videographer. You know, I don't really have much to show for it. So I can't come in here charging $500-$600. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can't, but to line up the business, if you're really trying to grow this as a company or as a personal business or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to understand market value for yourself.
Right.
And then work your way up. I mean, you know, but hey.
I agree. People and do not get yourself into messy business. Do not get yourself, because reputations will precede you. I don't care where you go. You're not going to find many people, if anybody, that are going to say that Upward Now has been doing bad business. That is not the reputation that precedes us. You're not going to find people that say Hoops by Stan does bad business. You might find someone that says it's hard to get a hold of Hoops by Stan, but that's way different.
Right.
Way different than saying that Hoops by Stan doesn't do business well. That just means that he has a certain quality that is hard to put your hands on. And if you can, make sure that you're ready to come out of some finance. Because he's worth what he's worth. Let's just be honest. To be honest, and it's come from a place. Hoops by Stan didn't start shooting yesterday. I can't get no amens at all. He did not start shooting yesterday. He did not open up his portfolio 2 days ago. He's been doing this for a while, and he's been doing it well for some time. And so, like he said, and when I started, I was free. I gave a little bit of my testimony shooting when I was on Brandon Clay. Before I got the initial deal with Corey Black and then with JUCO Report, I had been shooting for forever for free. I had easily put on thousands of miles for free. Mind you, I wasn't working a job, so I don't even know how I got the money for this gas. We're just gonna say God provided, because I don't know. But it's going to take that. And then when you start charging, it's not going to be $75, $150 an hour. It might be $15. It might be $20. It might be $50 for an entire gig. If you're into wedding photography and someone does bless you for you to be able to collect the content for their special day, and at some point I'll kind of touch on the importance of different events, but you got to understand a wedding, sidetracking here, a wedding, you're capturing a day in somebody's life that they need to remember for the rest of their life.
Talk about pressure.
Bro, the pressure you put on yourself should be immense.
Yep.
Because they're not going to do it, because they're like, you're a professional. I'm paying you to do what you do. Yep. And so the pressure has to come from yourself, from a place that I'm here to capture a day that can be, that's going to be captured as a time capsule for them for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
So you've got to apply that pressure. And also, unless you have a portfolio of a whole lot of things that you've done at a certain level, you can't go in there talking about I need $1,000.
Because they're gonna look at you and laugh at you, man, and embarrass you, brother.
I can look and laugh. Where's your portfolio? And you don't even have a portfolio. You said 2 pictures of your dog at the crib. First of all, sir, this is not a portfolio. Second, it's not a wedding portfolio. I need to see something that you've done. Right. And so you do a wedding for 12 hours and get paid $50 or $60. And I'll tell you this, you honestly just won. If you just started off and you got this wedding and they even gave you $15 or $20 or $25, you just won.
Yeah.
Because you just got the ability to build a profile, which is what you're learning in our world is invaluable. There's certain things that are invaluable, and so now I finally wanted to get into weddings, and we're here for a second. Man, like I had to work. But mind you, I was out shooting every day. I was shooting all day long, every day.
Yeah.
But still, when I wanted to tap into that market, it took me some time.
Yep.
because I had to build that portfolio.
Definitely.
Joe pulled a great question, and I think we're reaching the end of our run.
Okay.
Shout out to Feel the Thrill, one of ABL's greatest giants.
Yes.
It's some major people landing in the live today, especially on Instagram. But his question is, what have you guys learned from yourself to growing your business? I'm gonna let it land on the GOAT. So I'll go first just to get it out the way and let it. And if you have any more questions, drop them in there. We want to answer whatever questions you have.
Gotcha.
We really do have a GOAT in the room today, so please ask.
Two brothers.
I'm appreciated, man.
Yeah.
But I think one thing I've learned about myself is my work ethic is insane. And another thing inside of that point, one thing that I've learned is I can shift gears in my ethic at will. So if I'm reaching a place where there's a lot of deadlines and there's a lot of things to do, and I've got to really finish some projects, but I've also got something else tomorrow, I can shift into high gear where I can clear out, if I want to, I can clear out a whole portfolio of work in a 12-hour span from 8 o'clock in the evening to 7 or 8 in the morning and go out and shoot that morning and be effective. And so my work ethic I can shift gear as I want to. But in its simplest gear, it's insane. When I started, my hours were very, very, very crazy. I probably slept 2-3 hours. Mind you, during this whole time, I have been a college student. While running my business, I graduated. I got my undergrad degree.
Right.
While running my business, I'm a year away from getting my master's degree. Man, thank you. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to answer this question.
Man, no. Inspiration, man. Inspires you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And so one thing I can say I've learned for sure is that hard work really does work. I know sometimes you'd be like, well, what made your business go? What made you do this and that and the third? You come up with a plan, which we do have, and we'll be unleashing even more of that. But we do have a plan. But not only do we have a plan, we have I have a motor in place to get me to where I'm trying to go. Rodman had a plan, like we saw the other night. Rodman had a plan to get rebounds.
Right.
Had the motor to get the job done. And one thing I can say is no matter what I ever do in life, I have a motor. I have a crazy motor. That's one thing I can. That's very, very, very true. Gator's in here talking about something else. Oh, I understand Gator. Oh my God. So that's one thing I can say I've learned about myself in this process. And I think one more thing, if I add to it, is I may be a better businessman than I am actually a talent at what I do. I may be a better. I noticed that early, the way that I function, that I move things around, the way that I kind of situate stuff. I may be a better, like, as far as intuition, making decisions. And of course, that's not just me. That also comes from the people that mentor me, that advice that they give me. My job is to take that advice that I get and to use my intuitive eye as far as where I see my business going and see the advice and where I might turn, where I might go, where I might pivot. And I think with that right there, we've come so far in the last couple of years. And I may be better at that than actually pushing, like actually shooting the content, actually putting it together, which is crazy because I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But I may be better.
Right?
I'm okay. Listen, if I can stand on the same baseline as Who's By Stan and the Ty Freeman and the Gator Sports and the Ultra Films and everybody else, I think I'm okay. I'm doing like
crazy, man. This guy here.
So I think the two things for me: work ethic and business practices. I think I'm pretty good with business practices. I know my work ethic is insane. I'm going to leave it there. That's what I've learned about myself. I can't wait to hear this.
Oh man! So I would say what I've learned for myself is that I'm good at balancing. Right? I feel like that's like a gift. Being able to balance running a business
Mm-hmm.
marketing your business, and growing your business. I feel like that's what I'm good at. That's what I've learned about myself. Is
What are those 3 points? Let's get those 3 points. Let's out 3 points. What are those 3 points, bro?
so good at balancing, learning how to balance marketing my business, myself, and also growing. Yeah. And I feel like that's what I learned about myself is like kind of what you said. While I enjoy the content and the photography and all that, like I love that. But I also love the fact that I have to think about how to grow and market myself to take this brand and this business that I'm building to the next level. You know, and it's because I found out early on I used to get caught up in just creating the content. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to answer emails. You know, I didn't want to talk and build relationships and network and do all this other stuff. I just wanted to create the content. But as I grew, I'm like, well, I actually had to do these things. And then once I started to do those things, I'm like, I actually enjoy, you know what I'm saying? I enjoy marketing. I enjoy, you know, building relationships. And I enjoy sitting here trying to figure out how the heck to grow this brand on social media. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy that stuff. You know, it's fun. It's strategic. It's coming up with a game plan. It's an art, you know? And so, you know, those are the things that I would say I definitely learned about myself is that I've learned balance, and I'm good at balancing what I'm trying to do to grow my business, man. So, I mean, and I also learned that it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I learned what I've learned is that, you know, having a business and a brand is difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's not glitz and glam. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to have the dope pictures or the cool pictures or the popular pictures, but you know, it takes work. It's difficult. You know what I'm saying? But it's rewarding at the same time. You know.
Agreed. Talk to me, and we're nearing our last close.
Yeah, because I'm getting hungry, brother.
We're nearing our last close. Talk to me about and this, I think this will be the last question.
Okay.
And this is just simply and this goes right into balance. The balance of, you know, the family man, the career man, and hoops by Stan. The just being able to navigate all 3 of those pieces of yourself, because you have a family. As we've learned today, you do have a career, and outside of that, you also create an amazing portfolio of pictures for a vast majority of clientele, or just for your own sake. How do you navigate through those 3 different hats that you wear as a person? And what would you advise someone in those, in that situation where they want to create, they want to do this, they want to be an entrepreneur, but they have all the responsibilities?
Brother, I say this, you find you a wife that supports your vision.
That's major.
You know what I'm saying? And understands your vision and where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have a plan, you know what I'm saying? Because she's not gonna trust me to lead her, you know what I'm saying, if I don't have a clear vision, right? So you know what I'm saying? So I mean that's the most important part, you know, like she understands, she buys into she buys into everything, you know what I'm saying, that I'm doing. So she, you know, that's it, you know, for me, you know what I'm saying, as a married man, you know what I'm saying, she understands what I'm trying to do, she understands where I'm trying to go, and she trusts, you know what I'm saying, that I'm gonna bust my butt to make this happen, you know. And that's really it, you know. That's it for me, man.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I think you hit it on the nail for me. I really do believe that in order to ease it and to make it even easier, you do have to have somebody and people around you, and especially when you're choosing, or if you've chosen that other person in your life, I mean, you've got to have a vision, and they've got to see it, and they've got to believe it just as much as you.
Yeah.
I think it could cause some real serious problems because now this weekend, she wants to go to Disney World, and she might. I'll put up the money. I don't even want you to put. Don't. It's not a finance thing.
Right.
But yet Kyrie came into town, and Kyrie at ABL. Now
Hey,
what?
You better put it on the family calendar, man. You know what I'm saying?
Now what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know that for sure. It does kind of the fluidity of your movements change, but at the same time, it's like you said, it's that much more rewarding. Is the fact that when you do win, you can come home and share it with your entire family.
Definitely.
Once again, and we're ending here. We're creatives in the middle of a pandemic. We're creatives in the middle of a situation. For some of us that make our money solely from this, there's not much money to be made right now. Most people have had to close events. I remember the weekend when we really went on quarantine. I remember the 2 days before I had a Saturday that was full of like 4 gigs. Don't ask me why. We're not going into that. I thought I was going to get 4 gigs, and all 4 of them canceled 2 days before. All 4 of them went. We don't know what's going on. We don't want to be in trouble or anything, but we're going to postpone or whatever the case may be. All of them canceled, and since then, I don't think anyone's getting wedding gigs. I don't think anyone's getting party gigs, unless I haven't heard of it. I'm pretty sure basketball events going on, and so we're at a standstill as creatives. What is your like lasting motivational, just something to motivate the creative in this place? They might have just been like somebody legitimately might have just give up their job like a month or 2 ago.
Brother, and I'll jump on that, and then we can close out.
Yes,
so
sir.
My goal for this summer was to quit my corporate job.
Wow.
So I was planning on July. Well, I had originally started July. July was going to be, I was done. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going to go full-time photography, wedding, basketball, photography. You know what I'm saying? That was going to be it. Portrait work, corporate work, whatever.
Yeah.
And this happened. Like that is the craziest thing to me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I can't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? I pray for my creators, you know what I'm saying, my friends, like you guys, man, that do this full time. Like it's a hard position to be in, but it's like you just gotta be faithful and know, you know what I'm saying, like everything's gonna be good, right? But I was there, you know what I'm saying? Like I was quitting my job, you know what I'm saying? I was done, and I was gonna live the dream of being a creator full time. And then boom, COVID-19. It's like, brother, this is the craziest thing. But I'm still faithful, that everything's gonna work out, and I'll still be able to do it. It's not, now was not the time. So, what I'm saying? But for those that want to do it, just know, don't give up on your dreams. Stay focused, keep creating, and know that it'll happen, man. So yeah, that's all I got, brother.
That just hit a crazy place out of nowhere. I mean, it is crazy. I know a couple people that quit out in the springtime, and they were expecting to have them summer.
Yeah.
And summer just got turned into COVID City. Major summer is kicking it at the crib. Shout out to J Mix that just joined in, but Major summer is us kicking it at. It's super tough. And I think you just pretty much just wrapped it up there is, if you are getting into this and this is what you're wanting to do and this is where you're wanting to go and grow, don't quit out. Don't throw in the towel. Keep working. And one of the biggest things that Stan has said tonight is have a plan. Have a plan, have something in order. that you can legitimately look at, and you can see, okay, this is where I am, this is where I'm going, this is how much further I have to get there. And so that way you're not just moving with the wind, you're not just moving with the media, but you're moving according to, you know, what your path is. Everybody's path is different. With that, Stan, man, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Like I told you before, this is genius. You were built for this type of stuff. Keep pushing it, man. And I love to see stuff like this, man. So anything I can do to help, man, anything I can do to get people on, you know what I'm saying, to for you to interview, you have a gift with this and everything else. But I love this, man. We need more of this too, man. So just keep pushing it, man. Keep grinding. I know you will. I know how you work. I know how you get down. So, you know, it's gonna be awesome, brother. Congrats, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Appreciate you. Creatives, stay in there. You know, this tough period, tough times, but we're gonna be okay. We legit gonna be okay. Stay in there. If like I said before, this is a platform for us creatives, entrepreneurs, business owners, etc. This is where we want to be, where, you know, us can to place, get information, get inspired. So make sure that you're tuned in with us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Shout out to Stan. If you're on Instagram, go follow him on Instagram at Hoops by Stan. For the entirety of this video, his @ was at the bottom of the screen. So go follow him. Make sure that you're linked in with what he's doing and the work that he's putting out. Like I said, it's cold. It's super cold, super crispy. One of the best out. And thank you so much for your time. Y'all be blessed. Appreciate it.